Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us this week for Coffee Talk. This is our live cooking demonstration, but we have decided that we want to change it up and keep everybody on their toes. So today for the cooking demonstration, it's actually a cooking challenge.
And your
Ellen's cooking ability.
pardon?
And so this month's challenge is leftovers.
Go check with
Sometimes you have a
Larissa.
lot of leftovers in your fridge and you're not
I'm
really
on.
sure what to do with them. You don't want to eat the same meal twice. So Ellen is going to show us how you can take leftovers into a new meal, warm them into a new meal. And we've got a couple surprises along the way for her. So I'm going to flip the camera around and we're going to get started. All right.
So you have some surprises for me, Rachel.
We have plenty of surprises. for you.
Oh, so I'm going out with a bang. Is that what you're saying?
It is. It is. All right.
All right. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us here today for our first official cooking challenge. As you all know, that we're here last week or last month. Good morning. Welcome. That they kind of bombarded me with it then, but it sounds to me like they've upped the ante a little bit to see if I can meet this challenge. So I guess I have some food that I need to work with and try to create something else. So tell me about the food.
Okay, well, so one thing that Ellen has at her disposal is her pantry. Her pantry is over here. And in it are a variety of items that you should or probably already do have. And then she also has off to the side a refrigerator with other essentials, household essentials that you probably already have at your disposal. So she can use any of those items that she would like, but to make the main meal, she's using leftovers. And so Ellen, if you'd like, your leftovers are waiting in the fridge.
All right. Okay. Well, very good. Well, I'm going to go check to see what I've got over there. I did make sure that Kelly and Rachel were okay with me bringing a few things from home, things that I find very essential and things that we talk about a lot about having. And this is actually my box of herbs and spices, and it's pretty full. So I do cook with a lot of those to help with seasoning and everything. Of course, we use fresh ones as well. We have in our gardens. So I did insist on bringing that from home. So that's one of the beauties about leftovers is like when you're recreating something, you want maybe different flavors. And so that's where the spices and herbs come in. So let me see what we've got.
All right, heading over to her fridge. It's a little off screen, so I'll just kind of give you an update on what's grab it. It looks like two trays. I think they're actually home delivered meals from the Senior Resource Center. Is that what that is?
It is. So two of our meals that we serve here and that we do deliver. One is Italian sausage, and it has rice in it, green beans, and peaches. And then we have chicken marsala, and it's, of course, chicken and mushroom sauce with rice, brown rice as well, peas, and apples. All right. So my challenge is to utilize these foods into creating one meal.
Well, actually, you have a guest coming, so you
Oh.
can make two.
Oh, I have a guest coming? Has that ever happened to you at home? Of course it has, hasn't it? You know, all of a sudden you do need to come up with something. All right. I'm looking at my ingredients here. Okay. I've got the whole grain covered because we've got the rice. And all right. I think I have an idea. All right. Let's see. My thought is, let's see. My thought is maybe chicken and rice. Every culture has chicken and rice, whether it's called chicken and rice or it may be called arroz con pollo, which is the Hispanic version of it. Certainly Asian has their chicken and rice. So it's really something that's really universal. Okay, so that's what I think I'll go with here today. I think I have enough ingredients that I can combine, and then with the seasonings that I have. Welcome, welcome, come in. All right. So my cooking challenge is using these two meals. So I'm going to get started here. I'm going to need my cast iron pot here. All right. What's nice about this is it's nice and heavy, it cooks well, and it works on my induction cooker here. All right, so what I'm thinking of is with arroz con pollo, chicken and rice, you typically would saute some onions, some pepper. I have a little bit of that here, so I'm going to use that. And of course, we have some mushrooms here, which I don't think typically go in, a typical arroz con pollo. But again, we are improvising. We are using what we have, and that's what we do when we're cooking at home. When all of a sudden we've got a surprise guest. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pull out but you know what? Before I get started here, I try to always keep something, well, not necessarily up my sleeve, but maybe in my pocket. Okay, come on in. Good. So one thing I can't cook without is garlic. Okay. And depending on the dish that you're making might depend on how you use it. So I have fresh garlic as well. So as you can see, I don't go very far without my garlic. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to, like I said, pull out the onions and pepper here. So I'm gonna kind of saute them a little bit and probably saute them with the kielbasa here. The arroz con pollo that I like to make at home has bacon in it, but certainly the kielbasa will give that nice smoky flavor as well. So actually, it's working out pretty well, I think. All right, and we'll do a little bit of these mushrooms from the marsala, chicken marsala, and all right, so I'm just going to kind of dice these up a little bit. And then I'll go ahead and slice up the kielbasa here. Who cooks chicken and rice at home? Anybody? Evelyn, you do? What do you put in your chicken and rice? Onions, bell pepper, garlic, okay. Nice. Anyone else?
I put a little bit of chicken broth.
Okay. Right. Right. Kind of make it a little saucy then. Mm-hmm. Ah, that's a good idea. Absolutely, because when you make your own broth, you have control as to what goes into it, particularly the sodium. So smart. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, since I have messy fingers and knives, go ahead and dice up our chicken here. one reason I really enjoy the chicken and rice dish, Arroz con Pollo, is because it does have a lot of nice seasonings in it, kind of has a little bit of heat, some spice to it. So it does, I'm sorry? Healthy? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. I think we have everything diced up here. All right. So I'm just going to start heating up. Oh, good. We have some oil, and I really enjoy olive oil. Of course, we know how healthy it is for us, but in this application, since I'm going to be simmering and kind of cooking at a higher heat, then something like canola oil is better for that. Okay. The nice thing about the induction cooker is if you've ever used one, you know that it really is very responsive, that it doesn't take long for the pan to heat up, which is very nice. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of slide this in there. Okay, so the idea is to kind of brown that sausage a little bit here. Okay, so as that is starting to simmer, I do want to kind of season the chicken here. Kind of coat it with some of those seasonings that I was, here I go again. All right. Okay, so that's beginning to brown. I am going to add some garlic to that. This is one I really enjoy. It's just dried garlic. It's not a garlic salt or anything. So you can just add some of that in. Okay, and then we are going to add some to the chicken as well. And then other seasonings. I put them in alphabetical order to help me because I have quite a few here, but I do want to put a little bit of heat in it. And do want some cumin. I want some oregano. Let's see. Well, there's oregano. I'm going to use a little bit of smoked paprika, which is really, I find to be very tasty. You can use regular as well. Getting to smell all the onion and pepper here. And okay, so I'm going to just turn that down a little bit more so we can get the chicken ready here. And let's see. I think what else I want to put in there. Oh, maybe a little bit of cayenne. That's a little bit of chili powder and a tiny bit of cayenne. Now let's see, did I put the cayenne under C or pepper? So I'm not sure. Let me see here. Maybe I put it under P for red pepper. There we go, P, all right. Okay, I'm just gonna turn that down a little bit more. All right, so, you know, this is just to your discretion as to the amount. That was the chili powder. This is oregano. Do y'all cook with seasonings at home? Yeah. What are some of your favorite seasonings that you like to cook with?
I have season, I have snap lemon season, I have tomato season.
Oh.
I have, honey seasoning, I
Uh-huh.
have, corn seasoning,
Mm-hmm.
I have, black pepper salt, seasoned salt,
Okay.
double pepper.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, you can really flavor up with that.
Some of our friends online are having a hard time hearing what our friends in the room are saying.
Okay. So if I repeat what they're, yes, yes,
Thank
yes. So they're talking about the different seasonings. I heard lemon pepper, a lot of different blends, Jamaican blend, Creole seasoning. Right. Yes. Smoked paprika, regular paprika, cumin, peppercorn. All right, so fortunately, I had some canned tomato, diced tomatoes in the pantry. I always have canned diced tomatoes in the pantry. You can just do so much with them, and they're nutritious too. Okay. Oh, good. That's my goal. Okay. So we're going to add that. I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken here that we kind of doctored up. We're going to add some tomatoes. I'm going to add about half the can to begin with. Half the can to begin with, and then we'll kind of go from there. Okay. Okay, I'm going to turn that up to let that simmer a little bit.
Ellen, we've had some more people join us online. Could you remind everyone what we're making?
Yes, yes, exactly. So we've had the challenge to have 2 separate meals, and from those, I need to combine them to make something else. We are making a chicken and rice, sometimes called arroz con pollo, which is the kind of the Hispanic version of that. And so I've added chicken and the Polish sausage, the kielbasa. We have some peppers and onions that came with the Italian sausage meal. And I have from my pantry just added some diced tomatoes. And we're going to add the rice. And I have added a lot of different seasonings to this to kind of add a little bit of smoke and heat to it. We'll go ahead and add, I think we can add a bit more of the rice. Okay, and we actually added the mushrooms from the chicken marsala just because we had them, which I think will add a great flavor to it. We're gonna let that kind of simmer a bit, and then at the end, we'll add peas, and actually this dish calls for olives as well. And I do try to keep olives in my pantry. Of course, we do know that you have to be mindful of the number you eat at a time because of the salt in them. But they can be a nice accompaniment to meals. This is one dish that I do particularly like them in. There's another dish that we make here for our seniors, the Cuban picadillo, and it has olives in it as well, which is quite good.
Oh, Ellen, you know what that sound means?
What does that mean? Uh-oh, what does that mean? Uh-oh.
You got a new challenge. Are you ready for a new challenge?
Oh, I'm not done with this one yet, Kelly. Okay,
We're
go
giving
ahead.
you another one. Are you ready?
All right.
I heard your special guests. They have a dessert request, and you haven't been talking about what you're serving for dessert. So your new challenge is to make a fruit cobbler with some of your leftovers, and that's what they want for dessert.
Oh, all right.
Have fun.
You didn't tell me. You should have told me. All right. I accept that challenge, Kelly. All right, well, let me just, okay, because the fruit cobbler is going to take a little bit more time. Let me just turn this down really low so it can just be simmering. I am going to add a little bit more liquid here from the. I do want to test the seasonings in them. So. I think it's good, but I think it could use some more. So before I move on, I'm checking my pantry here for my cobbler. Okay. All right. I'm going to add just a little bit more seasonings so that they can kind of be simmering and melding together. That's that smoked paprika that you like. Okay. There'll be a little bit more cumin. It's always better to start out with less and then add more, because once you add too much, then you gotta start adding other ingredients to your pot, right? All right, maybe a little bit more of the oregano too. All right. I'm going to let that simmer, like I said. All right. Fruit cobbler. Well, fortunately, the fruit that I was given lends itself to a cobbler. We have apples and we have peaches. So I'm very fortunate there. Let's see. Who makes a fruit cobbler at home? There's so many ways of making a fruit cobbler. Yes. Judy, how do you make yours?
Mine is actually called the duck cake.
Oh, yes.
You know, the peaches and brown sugar and how you want to season it. And then you put cake mix. in the top,
Yes.
And it browns, the top is like a crust. But I want to try to do the dough that you buy, it's in half, and use that.
Oh, yes,
That's the way my mother did it. She did it homemade.
it does, doesn't it?
But it was good. It turned out good.
Okay. So I have my fruit in my dish. I'm going to turn the oven on so it can be warming up. Okay, so looking at my ingredients, I don't have what I would need for the pie crust, but I do have, I see oats, and I see, fortunately, brown sugar. And let's see, I think I saw some butter in here. You could, or fresh peaches. You do get some lovely peaches right now. It is, in the summertime, so that would be nice as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm trying to remember my recipe for cobbler. I know oats. And of course, brown sugar. And I think it usually calls for a little bit of flour. But I do have cornstarch. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to try a little bit of cornstarch in with that. Okay. And of course, some brown sugar.
What did you put in?
I put a little bit of cornstarch. Cornstarch. Normally, I would add some flour maybe to with the oats and the brown sugar. Just to kind of give it a little bit more substance. But we want to be mindful of our sugar, don't we? Okay. All right. And oh, you know what? I got some nuts here. Does everyone do okay with nuts? Okay. Maybe we'll put some pecans in. Okay. Now let's see here. To get one of my cutting boards here. Just put it right on top here. Okay, a few nuts. I'm going to kind of chop them up. Actually, these are pecans, but you could use any nut or not. You wouldn't, it doesn't necessarily need that, but since I happened to see them and I thought, oh, let's try that. These are pecans. In any nuts? Yeah. All right. And add those. And then, of course, we have our butter that we're going to cut in. Let's see here. Where did I find it? Actually, they do sell the half sticks of butter. You can find them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Would it be at Walmart?
I think about any place. You just have to look at the box of the question is about buying the half sticks of butter. You just have to look at the box. It will tell you whether they're full sticks or half sticks. Yes, okay. All right, so we're gonna use some of this butter here. Okay. And typically I would have like a pastry blender to cut this into. I don't, and of course we improvise. Now, when I grew up, my mom, of course, this was before pastry. Well, they probably had them, but we didn't have them. So you would use two knives. Did you ever do that method of cutting the butter into like flour, like for a pie crust?
Miss Barbara said that she
Yes.
non-fit.
That's how I learned. And it is kind of nice to sometimes go back to the original ways of doing things rather than using all the gadgets that we have and all. What I thought I would do, sometimes I use a fork to kind of cut it in as well. So we'll see how that works. Okay. All right. You know, this cobbler, you could use any seasonal fruit. This would be good with berries. Rhubarb, anyone grow rhubarb at home? All right, so that's pretty good. And actually, I do want to add some spices to this, kind of enhance everything. I do have some cinnamon in here. And this is actually Vietnamese cinnamon, which is more intense flavor to it, which I really like. I do find that down at the Cape Fear Tea and Spice Market downtown. So some of that, and then I also have whole nutmegs, which I kind of like to use. Ever used a whole nutmeg? Yeah. Judy, you have? Mhm. So they're just a nutmeg, very hard, very hard, and you just grate it. So you do have to have a fine grater for that. And of course, you don't want to get your gloves grating there too. All right. And then you just put it back in your jar and use it again next time. All right, so I think I have.
Ellen, while you're mixing, do spices ever go bad or do you replace them? What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, they can go bad, and so you do want to purchase, whether you don't use them very often, that may be the small container, or the regular size container, if you go through them. Pardon me? Oh, yes. The question is, do spices go bad? And they do over time. So I do encourage you to try to purchase what you think you're going to use in a reasonable amount of time. If it's something you use a lot, then probably this size is great. But again, they have some that are in this size, for your infrequent use. Of course, they're cheaper when you buy them in larger containers. And they do, yes. Okay, so I am just going to add this. to our fruit here. All right. And then I'm going to stick it in the oven over here, and this will probably take, I don't know, 20 minutes maybe at the least, but I've got it turned up, so then I'll keep an eye on it, and we'll see where we're at. Okay. So thank you for that challenge. I feel very fortunate that the items I had here lended itself to that. So thank you. All right. So now we'll go back to the arroz con pollo. And we do have our olives now that we can slice and add. And then we'll add our peas to it as well. And then we'll just kind of let that simmer a bit. And again, the beauty of a dish like chicken and rice is that you can make it any old way you want to. And from several of you here, you talked about different things that you put in yours. So again, you can literally, add the kitchen sink to it, okay?
Ellen, do you happen to have any other vegetables that you may be adding?
Well, we have the green beans. You mean that I have here? Yes, we can add the green beans in too. So I think we might as well. So we know the more vegetables, the healthier, right? So yeah, oh, yes. But you certainly could, absolutely. Whatever you've got, whether it's something left over from cooked, or if you have something in your crisper box, celery, sometimes celery, you only want a few stalks for a certain dish that you're making, and then you have the whole rest of celery left, and it's like, what am I going to do with this? So carrots would be nice in this. Okay. I'm going to check the flavors again. See how we're doing. I think it's pretty good. I'll have to admit. All right. So we're just going to let that kind of heat up the olives and peas. All right, and it's still going to be a little while for the dessert, but we will have the opportunity to enjoy our dish here before we have our dessert, okay? I know some people say life's uncertain, eat dessert first, but we know it's probably better not to always do that, okay? So what I would like to do now is serve up a couple of plates here and just kind of show you kind of that nice presentation. And remember something that we talk about. What do we talk about in our classes? What does this word mean to you? What do we talk about? The word is joy. What do we talk about? You feel good. You feel good about what you're eating. Absolutely. Food should bring us joy. Well, let's see how we do here today. I always like to have the presentation nice as well. And Rachel can attest that I went out this morning and picked some herbs from our garden, which, don't they look lovely in here? Okay, these are garlic chives. Isn't that pretty? And some lavender and mint. Excuse me, this is, yeah, that's lavender and mint. Yeah. Okay. The color combination is nice with the vegetables that we use today. Now you can see that we used two perfectly tasty looking, delicious meals. Yes. Mhm. Okay. And we made something totally different flavors. You what? Oh, okay. All right. Oh, okay. All right. So, and one thing you'll notice that we didn't add any salt to it, did we? Of course, it does have some salt probably in the original application. But again, we used all those different seasonings from the box and to really enhance it. All right. I'm smelling our dessert challenge. I think it's looking pretty good. It's probably going to be another 15 minutes on that. But kind of concludes what we've got going on here as far as I know, unless you have another challenge for me.
No, if you'll borrow your microphone, I'll come over here with you. Mine's not working.
Okay.
So I'll just come stand with you.
Okay.
Oh, here, I can maybe. Okay, so hopefully this sounds a little bit better than what it was. So for next month, this is a surprise to Ellen, but we wanted to announce now that she will have a special ingredient. She will not know what it is. And on our Facebook page, you'll be able to submit what you think her ingredient should be. And then next month, we will present it to her and she will be required to use it in the challenge. How's that sound, Ellen?
I'm willing to
You
do
ready?
that. I'm
You
ready.
Awesome.
I am
Awesome.
ready.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for attending today, and it was fun to do the cooking challenge. And
Ellen,
yes.
why haven't you been on those cooking challenges?
Oh, now Judy. Well, well, thank you. Well, I enjoy cooking. You all know that. But my place is here with all of you. But thank you. Thank you.
How do I get onto the Facebook page?
I can help you out in just a second.
Okay, appreciate it.
I'm gonna go get some plates for anyone that wants.
Test, 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 test. Hello, 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 hello.
Friday.
Can you hear me now?
Had to switch back over to my computer after the speakers. Sorry about that. Thanks for waiting. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's cooking demonstration. I'm glad to see you, Mr. James. I didn't get to say hi to you this morning. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Well, I'm glad you guys got to be here and I hope you enjoyed the challenge. Like I said, we're going to put something on Facebook and you'll be able to submit what you think her special ingredient should be for next month. If you'd like, you could just send me an email too, if you prefer to do it that way. But that is all that we have for today. A quick reminder, we do have virtual bingo on Monday. If you are interested in playing, let me know. I know Miss Barbara, you are already registered. Mr. George, all right, I got you. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you both there. To all of my friends who work here at the Senior Resource Center, thanks for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed it and made your morning a little bit more exciting. Miss Barbara, what's going on?
What time is bingo on Monday? Because I forget sometimes.
Let me double check. I think I forgot to. I want to say it's 11. Yes, 11 to noon.
Okay, okay.
11 to noon. All right. So we'll have that. And that is all I have for you today. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week and a good weekend. And I'll see you on Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you.